I would fail on my own terms. And that propelled me to quit my job. And I didn't just wake up and quit my job. I was still doing my job as a sales agent for MTN Nigeria back in the day. But at the same time, on the side, I was testing out my career, putting in all the work, all the sacrifice, and preparing myself at that early stage for what is to come. Now, the advantage that I had that helped me in the entrepreneurial part of being a photographer, because photography as a career is largely driven by passion. And a lot of times, creative entrepreneurs in general find it difficult to draw the line between passion and profit. But the advantage that I had was being in corporate Nigeria for a period of time helped me with the training that I need to be able to sell and market this brand to become what it is today. So, in a nutshell, I developed at an early stage a mindset of considering failure as part of the process. And I did not want anybody to live their lives through me. Thank you.
Thank you. George is a very soft-spoken young man, and I can say he sounds more romantic when he speaks. I remember him just like Iko Bosi here, who is my friend and my brother. There was this movie I did, Living in Bondage, Breaking Free. It was George who took my picture personally for the posters. And this is why I call on the MBA to review the rules of professional conduct for legal practitioners. I think, for me, it should be RPC and other professions. And the name of the game for MBA should be do it with dignity. George does photography with dignity. I'm sure if he was a lawyer, he would do photography with dignity. Mr. President, I so submit. All right, we go back to our very dear Mianaya Estienne. In your experience as a lawyer, what does early preparation, what role does it play in winning difficult cases? We're not saying some cases are very easy, but there are. Can you share an experience, give an example that changed the outcome for you?
It's actually quite a difficult question to answer because one always gets difficult cases. And the fact that you didn't win the case doesn't mean you didn't do an excellent job. And I think it's very important that we remember that you do not necessarily have to win your case. What a client, although they would like that you win, what a client would want to see is that you put in your best. Because really that's all you can do, put in your best. So when you put in the work and you're satisfied you've done the work, but it does not necessarily have a positive outcome, it does not necessarily mean you have failed, even though you lost, if you can make the sense out of that. But then having said that, I always prepare. I always prepare. I do not necessarily always succeed, but I always prepare. And I think the first case I can remember is when I was actually doing my youth service in Maiduguri. And I was pretty pleased with myself at the end of the day because there was a case that had to do with the undefended list. And I think about that time, either Now versus Macaulay had just come out, or UTC or Pamute, or one of those cases. And I was petrified as a copper going to court. My boss then had given me the file, and it's like, go and do this. And I don't think I slept that night. Fortunately, I think I stumbled across this case. And I went to court. My heart was beating fast. I was afraid the court would even hear my heart beating. And I got upset my bit. And the judge himself, because the case had just come out, the judge himself wasn't aware of the case. And the lawyer on the other side wasn't aware of the case. And because I did cite that case, the case went in my favor. And I was so happy. I couldn't believe I did it. So those small things, are the things that determine, your trajectory going forward. And I think at that point, I realized I was able to succeed because I had put in the work the day before. And basically, that's been my life. I do put in the work when I can, most of the times. And like I said earlier on, I do not necessarily always succeed. But I am satisfied that I have done my best. And when you're giving your report to your clients are satisfied you've done your best. And, you do that at the trial court. If you fail, there is the Court of Appeal. You fail, you go to the Supreme Court. So it's always about putting your best foot forward and, having the discipline to do the work to ensure you get a successful outcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Round of applause, please. Now we'll go back to Mr. Chidoka. Nigeria needs a lot of reform in a whole lot of areas. I had made a video about the tenure of office of the president of the NBA, that if Nigeria can borrow from such leaf, stress-free, no re-election, Nigeria will be a better democratic platform to operate. Now, for you, as a public servant, and for you as a young lawyer, what reforms are there for Nigeria that requires timely actions that will make Nigeria move from where it is now to a better ground?
Thank you very much. That's a very timely question. My first take is that the legal profession has a lot to teach Nigeria about setting forth at dawn. And the first thing is that the very basic principle of law is that justice delayed is justice denied. So it is already a maxim that we need to act in a timely manner. The second one is that timing is everything. So if you file out of time, if you do not go to court on time, you're likely going to endanger your client's case. So Nigeria has to learn that timing is everything and that we cannot procrastinate. Number one is, yesterday, some people were killed in Okigwe. 2 days ago, it was Katsina. 27 people shot in a mosque. The government says 33 people are dead. And it is so normalized because what we have in Nigeria is what I call normalization of bad behavior. So we normalize things so much that now everybody is just going about their business that about 50 people were killed in this country within this last week. In a statement we recently issued, we pointed out that in 2025, 10,000 Nigerians have died from insecurity. And this is more than the people that have died in Gaza, more than the people that have died in Syria, where there are actual civil wars. So being able to see that procrastination does not work and cannot be part of a governance ethos, it is important for us as a nation to realize that issues that require timely action must be done in a timely way. So the discipline and process of court processes, the discipline that the law profession brings, is something that needs to come into Nigeria. So if we are saying that security is an important issue, I'm sure many people who came from different parts of Nigeria to this conference came by air. 20 years ago, 10 years ago, people drove to MBA conferences. People drove from Maiduguri to Sokoto, from Sokoto to Lagos. And this was part of the sights and sound of Nigeria. Today, we are constrained between Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Lagos. and now Enugu, because insecurity has become the order of the day. So we need to treat it with seriousness. So it is not just rising at dawn that is important, but lawyers in Nigeria must learn something. The lawyers of the 1960s and of the 50s and 60s were freedom fighters. They fought for this independence we have in Nigeria. But today, our lawyers are now schooled in procedure and have totally abdicated their role in purpose. And that purpose is the ability to create a nation where no man is oppressed, a free and fair nation. So the legal profession has an important role to play. And I think that as lawyers leaving this conference, 3 things I would like you to do. When the world is silent, set forth. Do not wait when a consensus has been built for you to come and speak. Speak when the world is silent. When your peers mock your ambition, set forth. Go forward. Don't wait when your ambition has become common knowledge that people have accepted it as a way to success. And when the path is unclear, when the path is uncharted, when you cannot see the horizon, still set forth, because it is the people that set forth that transform societies. And when no one believes in your vision, when no one thinks that your vision makes sense, set forth. What we have in Nigeria today is that people only set forth after the consensus has been built. We need, once again, to set forth when the horizon is unclear, when the waters are uncharted, and when the air turbulence is high. We must set forth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want every lawyer in the House to listen to this. I saw this on a blog, and it made an interesting read to me, and I had to copy it. Jad Tarifi is the founder of Google's first generative AI team. He says higher education is on the verge of becoming obsolete. As Gen Z graduates are struggling to land jobs, Tarif warned that pursuing a doctorate degree to stand out is not the answer. He said students could end up throwing away years of their lives as technology is moving so quickly. He said students could end up he claimed undergraduate degrees have lost their benefits thanks to AI. This, he said, has made young people turn to advanced scholarship and schooling to unlock jobs with competitive salaries. Tarifi urged Gen Z not to be so fast to jump on the PhD program, as even doctorate degrees may have lost their edge due to AI. He quotes, "All itself is going to be gone by the time you finish a PhD. Even things like applying AI to robotics will be solved by AI." Tarifi graduated with a PhD in 2012, when the subject was far less mainstream. But today, the 42-year-old says time would be better spent studying a more niche topic intertwined with AI, like AI for biology, or maybe no degree at all, his words. Higher education, as we know it, is on the verge of becoming obsolete. Tarifi said to this, he said, "I encourage young people to focus on 2 things, the art of connecting deeply with others and the inner work of connecting with themselves. Even studying to become a medical doctor or lawyer may not be worth the time anymore." That's what Tarifi warned. That is the founder of Google's first generative AI. Now, I go to Lenesik. Now, the legal profession, as we have in Nigeria today, the question is, how are we embracing AI in the fast-changing legal landscape? The question is, AI, digital courts, globalization, what are the dawns you see? Because we can't take the internet for granted. We need to embrace certain things so they don't become obsolete. So what are the dawns for you going forward?
Well, we are at very interesting times. This is a time where you have to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Let's use our Auntie Mia Essien as an example. When she was called to buy in 1985, 40 years ago. You can beat that. It's 40 years ago. At that time, the entire part of Nigerian weekly law reports is not up to 100 pieces. Though there are several law reports, but you need to have those law reports to be able to canvass your cases in court. You do oral advocacy. Then came the internet. The first legal tool that was electronic for us was Law Pavilion, if you recall. And when Law Pavilion came, everybody was marveled by what it is. But Law Pavilion was a strange tool for persons who refuse to learn using the computer, isn't it? Because you cannot now access what Law Pavilion has. Thus, you had to rely on your memory. So you will agree with me that the persons that were in Auntie Mia's class at that time who refused to embrace Law Pavilion are one down, isn't it? Now came the Supreme Court saying you cannot file unless you have an email. And this email is the vehicle through which you can file your court processes, receive court processes. If you don't have that email, it's another one down, isn't it? Thus, if you do not embrace AI, you're by yourself, excluding yourself from the entire party, isn't it? I know Auntie Mia, she is AI compliant. She carries volumes of case file in her pad. You will see that she is telling the court, my lord, at page 2004, and it's already here. So you have to just embrace AI. It does a lot for you. It makes research easy, and it's very wonderful. Luckily for us, there are several AI tools. I could just mention some of them for us. Lexis AI, Westlaw, Case Text and Co-Counsel, and all of that. But unfortunately, these are not factored into our own peculiar legal system. So we have to take those into cognizance when we are using them. Of course, there are some that we can buy and try to factor them into our system. There are certain softwares we could put in our system where you could download document, you could scan document, convert them to readable document, and then do a lot of things with it. So that when you leave the manual lawyer searching through documents for a number of days, it just takes a person who is AI compliant a short period of time just to do Control S, and that is all. You have what you have. AI, however, has disadvantages. And I'll give you a personal experience. So, if you know, WhatsApp has something they call Meta AI. So I said to Meta one time I was looking for a case, or I was looking for an issue. If you know, WhatsApp has something they call Meta AI. So I said to Meta one time I was looking for a case, or I was looking for an issue, the position I have made and all of that. I said, good. So do we have Nigerian case law on this? And Meta said, yes. And Meta cited for me Nigerian Weekly Law Report citation. I was very excited. I said, what about this point? Meta brought in additional cases. Out of just curiosity, you know. So I called my librarian. I said, get me part ABC. They brought all of the parts. And in all of them, none of those cases existed.
Listen to Jeff.
Now, the new set of lawyers that we recruit in our office, they come to show us that we are old school, and they tell us that they are AI compliant. And so when we give them tasks, they just quickly come back with a turnaround. And when they do that, I say to them, are you sure this is not AI? They say it's not AI. So just last week, I shared with them a disciplinary proceedings that was taking place in Western Australia, where a lawyer was referred to their disciplinary committee because in the cases he referred to, he relied on some AI citations that were non-existent. So, gentlemen, we agree that AI eases our task, but we must cross-check. We must cross-check. Sometimes AI could refer to a case that does exist, but the quotation in there might be an obiter. We must cross-check. Sometimes the decision might be given, it might be a dissenting decision. We must cross-check. AI is fantastic. It can make you finish your task in the shortest possible time, but we must cross-check. Now, what is fundamental from what KOK just asked me is that we must embrace AI. And the dawn of AI now will be that we must learn to work with AI. Is that not the case? We must learn to work with it.
Yeah.
But is it a substitute of the lawyer? I think not. Is it a substitute of human intelligence? I think not. But it is a personal assistant, as you may think. So please let us wake up, embrace it, and recall that Meta AI could say, I'm sorry, I couldn't find these cases.
Thank you. Leonard Stick. My distinguished colleagues, Meta is here. Meta is here. Embrace it, hug it. I want to take a comment from the Leonard Stick here, but I am also going to take 5 minutes. I'm very conscious of time to take reactions, comments, questions from the audience. So if you don't want to speak and want to have something written, that's okay. But start compiling. We have, as a panel, we want to be disciplined. We're setting forth at dawn, so we need to be timely in what we do. So get your questions ready because I'm coming to you now after a comment and his comment, 1 minute or 2 minutes.
Thank you very much. I think my comment is just to buttress what my colleague has just said. If you don't know your law, AI is not going to be of much use to you. I have a personal example. So I used Gemini, and I said to Gemini, what's the latest position of the Supreme Court on a specific issue? And I went into details. Now, Gemini came back to me and cited a specific Supreme Court case, which I knew very well. But I was actually looking for affirmation for a position I had, so I was expecting to see a different case. But Gemini gave me another case. So I responded to Gemini and I said, Gemini, you are wrong. That's not what was decided in that case. This is what was decided in this other case. And Gemini got back to me to say, oh yes, I'm sorry, you are correct. And so listen, if you're in a hurry and you know what you are looking for, excellent. But if you don't know it will just take you up one garden path and you just find yourself lost. So I think ultimately it's a fantastic tool. We must embrace it, and we're all embracing it, I'm sure, in various forms. But if you don't know what you are looking for, it will not solve your problems. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. George Okoro also has a comment.
I'm trying to get
what I was going to ask you is, this Nigerian parlance about Nigerian young people or will just be managed. What distinguishes thriving and succeeding in business for you as a photographer, somebody who is an entrepreneur and so on, thriving and succeeding?
Thank you very much again. So let me try and summarize it as considering the amount of time that we have. So for me, it's understanding early from the onset to prepare and deliver value. If you understand early enough the concept of value, because value is what you exchange. So if you want to attract success, then you have to prepare value that you would exchange. You know, there's a common saying here when they say, I dey go hustle or I dey go chase money. You know, so that's a big mistake because anything that you're chasing continues to run. But the ideal thing to do is to attract. And the best way to attract is to create value. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, I'm coming to, okay. On AI, right? Go ahead.
I just want to weigh in on the AI conversation. And I want to say that AI is here. So, and it is artificial intelligence. But there are two things people must know about AI. Number one is that it is sycophantic. It is designed to follow your cue. It's a sycophant, and that's the design. AI is designed to reaffirm you. So it tells you, you are wonderful, you are right, you are this, and then it continues to give you that information as you probe it in any direction you want to go. ChatGPT has tried to reverse that by bringing ChatGPT 5 that is no longer sycophantic, that is going to, question you. It's called, you can choose from their columns, thinking, the modal one or the thinking one. But the challenge is that the whole idea of AI is to enhance capacity. It doesn't replace the absence of capacity. So for many people, if you rely on AI to do the architectural drawing of your house, the house will collapse. If you rely on AI to rescue somebody facing a criminal charge, the person will end up in jail. Because AI is a large language model, is taking the knowledge that is available and transmitting it in a manner that suits you, that is questioning it. So if you notice, as you keep going, it will keep going with you. But rarely does it pull you back with the correct information. So people have to be careful how they use it in professional environment.
I thought that it's only people who follow politicians that are sycophants. I will tell AI that you called AI a sycophant. Osita Chidoka, I've reported you. All right, I'm going to take questions now because it's your turn to ask questions, to make comments and remarks. Yes, ma'am. You know, I told somebody 2 days ago or 3 days ago in Lagos, it was my turn to speak. And the person said to me, okay, you're not even on the queue. So how can it be your turn? But it's your turn to speak now. I'm going to give to Mommy. Microphone, please. Please, when you stand or sit, may we know your name and then your question or reaction or contribution. Thank you, ma. You may sit, ma.
Good morning, everybody.
And all shall respond. Now, Elder, they greet you now. The senior advocate of Nigeria, and you're just relaxed.
First of all, I want to thank the creator of this program, who is up there, because we need it very badly. But I have something that has been bothering me for years. I'm not trying to tell people how important I am. I have worked for long enough to be recognized. So if I'm not, then it means I haven't stood tall and stand tall. Stood out and stand tall. And I'm very proud that many SANs, judges, justices, sometimes come to me and say, Mrs. B, thank you. You know, long ago you told me so. That's what I did. That's what I'm still following. It's enough for me. It doesn't have to be in the papers. It doesn't have to be anything. But I have a serious problem with the SANs, particularly the senior ones. You are respected. Your cases are called first. Where are you rushing to? Where are you rushing to again? You've already been arrested. Where are you rushing to? Stay for at least 30 minutes. You can help as many as 30 lawyers. When I first came to the bar, many seniors, this was 63. I could even hardly speak Yoruba, all these things, your native language. I couldn't. I've forgotten. Seniors in court, whether they have cases or not, they've been answered. They will pull your gown and say, sit down now. Tell the judge you want an adjournment. They've seen you are derailing yourself. But nobody is there. They do their case and rush out. And then in 5 years' time, somebody wants to go to be SAN, and they're querying, what did you do? How many cases? Oh, it's not those. Please, I beg you, stay and help us. We need your help. Some of the people that we're trying to help could not even come to this conference because of the cost. They would have liked to be here, but they couldn't. So please, that is my only standing out and standing tall, please. And finally, let us appreciate Nigeria. The lawyer anywhere in the world is the leader as far as I'm concerned. We are the first citizens.
All right. Thank you, Ma. Like Shakespeare would say, good sentences well pronounced, straight, hitting the nail on the head. Who goes next? You know, it's my turn. I'm on the queue. So wait. Okay. Senior advocate, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Etigwe Uwa. Let me stand on existing protocol, but I must recognize two of our father and mother, Mrs. Haria Balogun. I met when I was still doing attachment, and there were those who inspired us. And there's also Dr. M.E. Ajogu. We're very grateful that they're here with us today, in spite of their age, and we're very grateful. Thank you for all that we learned from you. Now, I want to make a few comments. First one is about AI. And I've been in various places where they say AI is going to take the job of lawyers and so on and so forth. And the panel has dealt with it sufficiently. But let me just say something. AI can take every job. AI is going to take the job of lawyers and so on and so forth. And the panel has dealt with it sufficiently. But let me just say something. AI can take every job. Attempts to take the job of all lawyers. What is going to happen is that there's going to be a big court case. The lawyers will represent themselves. The lawyers will represent AI. And a lawyer will give the decision. We're going to find a way to keep AI at bay. So don't get worried about AI. The next thing I'd like to just mention very quickly. Setting out at dawn, like some of the speakers have said, is not just about time as it relates to you. It's also about time as it relates to the subject of your area of practice. So today, a lot of lawyers are complaining. The other day, I was talking to some people who I had taken somewhere to fill their body of benchers forms. And they were worried that every year, we're producing about 5,000 or 10,000 lawyers. Where are we going to get work for all these lawyers? Now, there are many new developing areas that lawyers should key into at dawn. There was a time when it was oil and gas. There was a time when it was telecoms. And people have made money from those areas. You should ask yourself, what is the next frontier so that you can key in at dawn? We now have competition law, which is very new in Nigeria. Can you begin to hone your skills in that area? We have a new tax reform legislation. There is a lot that you can do by looking at it and honing your skills in that area. Again, I find that most times lawyers sit down and expect briefs to come to them. Speaking from my personal experience, the biggest money I've made in this practice wasn't any brief anybody gave to me. They were briefs I created myself. There are ways of creating your own briefs. So, okay, let me give you two examples.
Yes, please go ahead.
Oh, I'm told my time is up, so I'm sorry.
No. They want to know how to create your own brief, sir. I will allow you.
Incidentally, I saw some of those who were telling me to stop. They are the seniors who are making a lot of money, so maybe they don't want us to share in it.
Oh, yeah. He who alleges must prove. Tell them.
I'll give you two examples.
Okay.
I'll give you two examples. So there was a time when the banks or public companies would do public offers. And they would know that this public offer is likely to be oversubscribed. But they will collect money. And they will keep collecting money. And they will extend the offer date. One particular one of them needed only, I think, about 250 billion. But they eventually raised about 750 billion. They keep that money with them for 6 months, 7 months. At the end of the day, they then return all the monies back, keeping only the 250 they need. But these monies would have earned interest for them. And at that time, we were told that there was no law that said if you make a deposit for shares, you must get interest. So we thought about it and realized that at the end of the day, when you make an offer to buy shares, it's not a contract. Title hasn't passed. So at best, it's a deposit. So the money is yours. And we argued that that money being yours, if there's any interest, it should come to you. And we filed a class action. Another one was the Pfizer matter, which we did all the way to the US Supreme Court. Nobody gave us that brief. So there are many ways in which you can sit down, look at something, look at the legislation, see where there's a problem, and then craft your own brief.
Thank you.
I finished.
Thank you.
But I mustn't stop without 1 minute talking about politics and about our country, because it's very, very important. Our country is on a nosedive. And those who know it know that the way we are is totally unsustainable.
Thank you. That will be an issue for another day when it's your turn. Yes. Please take the microphone to her. Thank you. Your name?
Thank you. Nice sacrifice, KOK. They said we must stand out and stand tall. That's why I'm coming out here for people to see me. As a woman, I'm standing out and standing tall, not being minding what my sacrifice is trying to intimidate us. We won't tolerate it. Sorry, my name is Ugo Onyabo. I am from Ministry of Justice, Abia State. And by the grace of God, we have actually gone somehow far on training on AI. I use AI a lot in doing my research, and actually found out that there are lots of variations in what AI gives. Just like the student advocate was talking, and I asked AI a question, and he brought out what it gave. Let me read it out. I said, AI, why is it that you do not give accurate information about matters in the Nigerian legal system? Now, here the answer that AI gave me. It said there are several reasons why AI models like myself, that is AI now, may struggle to provide accurate information about the Nigerian legal system. One of them is limited training data. He said availability. Nigerian legal documents, cases, and statutes might not be readily available online or in digital format, limiting the data available for training AI models. Then two, he said quality. Even when data is available, it might be incomplete, outdated, or inaccurate, which make negativity impact the AI model's performance. I talked about complexity of Nigerian law.
Can you ask your question now?
So he said, I just want to make a contribution about why we have
Please make that quickly. Others have
now,
given too much space.
They said Nigeria has a unique legal system with a mix of common law, customary law, and Islamic law. This opportunity can make it challenging for AI models to accurately understand and comply the law. So how do we go about it here now? Complexity of matters, of laws, from customary, from common law, mixed together. AI cannot really focus.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll stop you there. Thank you very much. Please move the microphone here. And after that, I move the microphone here.
All protocol observed.
Please, a gentleman is standing. Please, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to ask the panelists to please help and advise.
Oh, I didn't know it was Senator Dino Melaye. My brother, this beer no let me know. Say how you. SDM.
Thank you.
Please go ahead.
I'm asking this question as a bouncing baby lawyer. And my question to the panelists is this. How do you advise so that NBA can set a dawn, especially in this regard? How do you advise so that the NBA can have a standard that irrespective of who becomes the president of NBA, we will not have a cool and hot NBA? Because I've come to understand that we're called learned ones, others are educated, and in every civilized clime of the world, a replica of MBA is the watchdog of the society, is the defender and the protector of our communities and even extended communities. How do you advise so that we have a standard that no matter who becomes the president of MBA, that role of lawyers in defending the people, in protecting the people, in giving political and economic salvation to the people is protected and not compromised? I'm very excited about the decision of the NBA president and NBA not taking this conference to Port Harcourt. That is the type of NBA we are looking for.
That is standing tall. And
so how do we stand tall? By setting a standard.
Thank you.
That no matter who becomes the president of NBA, our role is not compromised.
Thank you very much. Do we answer that immediately? Okay, I'll come back to you in your recap. We need to take, yes, please, the microphone to him.
Thank you very much, panelists. My name is Itam Baba, retired Justice of the Court of Appeal. I'm happy to be here. One of the panelists said, dawn signifies the darkest hour of the night. I'm wondering whether the time-ticking life of a nation like we are, whether this is the dawn of Nigeria. I'm also worried that we have this kind of array of lawyers in Nigeria, judges, and so on, and yet Nigeria is what it is now. What can we do to save our nation?
Thank you. I think all right. The lady in white. White will always stand you out. Your name, your question, or contribution.
Yes, it is my turn. My name is Chipurime Obiagu Ude, and I am from the Owerri Bar. First, I want to thank the panelists who have spoken to truth this morning. And about the mentorship topic that was raised, I also want to thank the Young Lawyers Forum and their leadership that have continued to create avenues for mentorship for young lawyers in Nigeria. I am a beneficiary, and I must say this here. However, we know that it is not every lawyer who sets out at dawn that gets there. It is not every lawyer who wakes up in the morning, who does what they ought to do, that would still become that which they have desired. And so, I want to, jettison the generic advice. Can the panelists, especially the senior advocates right now, speak in specificity? What stands out the lawyer who sets out at dawn? Thank you.
All right. Please bring the microphone to the third vice president.
Good morning.
You will have to indulge me because we are ending this session at 10:30. So after her, I'll just take just one more, and then come back to the panelists, and we'll close. Go ahead, ma.
Good morning. And just to correct, I'm not the third vice president.
Oh.
My name is Oyinkansola Badejo Okusoya, Mrs. B. And I just wanted to make a comment with respect to the speaker who talked about, or contribution about the rules of professional conduct and how perhaps I think you made the comment, perhaps the rules need to be revised and the emphasis should be on doing what we do with dignity. And because I know that a communique is going to come out at the end of this conference, I would just like to call on the President and members for us to take this seriously and actually begin to look into this, because the reaction that we always get when it is suggested that because you're a lawyer, there are certain things you cannot do, it is clear that perhaps some aspects of that rule are becoming outdated. And because we live in a dynamic society, it's worth examining what kinds of things outside of the core legal practice we can do without offending the rules of professional conduct when they're modified to meet modern day realities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. Okay. Yeah, microphone to him, yeah.
Thank you so much. Without wasting time, my name is Mark CNU Keche. Yes, I've heard what you said about doing good work with dignity as trying to incorporate some of the professional work with the MBA. So I want to suggest, with the AI issues everybody has been speaking about, I think the best bet is for us to ask some of our members here who are engineers. Because if you don't have prompt engineers to try to integrate Nigerian law system into the internet, it means that the AI will not be able to capture them. So I think the MBA should try to create an awareness where some science lawyers should meet to help the MBA create this kind of platform so that Nigerian will also be in the internet, Nigerian legal system. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Please, we have no more questions to take. Permit me, because we don't want to end this session at 10:30. May I start this recap with Mr. Osita Chidoka? Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. I like that the mood is the mood of standing tall and standing out. And for lawyers, I want to say, as somebody who has been in position to hire lawyers in our various issues, from federal road safety to aviation, two things are important. Number one is you must make yourself indispensable. Indispensability is that you get to when I was working in the private sector, ExxonMobil, we used to call the company a lawyer's company. ExxonMobil is run by lawyers. You can't do anything without it passing through legal. So I think that one of the critical things to do is to make yourself indispensable. In the age of AI, in the age of setting forth at dawn, lawyers must make sure that they are indispensable. I never will take any decision or do anything without reference to my lawyers, because you know that it will ultimately maybe end up in trouble. But so far, I see many young lawyers taking what I call a backstage attitude to practice. So people do not find them as indispensable as they should be. So you must be indispensable and irresistible. So you must prepare your law practice. Lawyers have been very slow in adopting technology in workflows. So people go to court, you don't really get a brief of what happened in court and your matter. You don't really get, they will just tell you the date for the next court case and how much to pay. But there is need today to carry our clients along in not only telling them what has happened, but in keeping them abreast using technology. So workflows need to be automated. It's not just an AI issue, it's about automating workflow so that your clients and all those who work with you will be carried along. So, but listening to the comments I heard here about what I think is the future, we must set forth at dawn. We must be prepared. We must be that voice that speaks before the issues come up. Nigeria is, as somebody asked, I think it's Senator Dino, about keeping a standard in MBA. Well, no matter how much you build institutions, individuals are going to be able to drive it one way or the other. So what we need is serious activism within the profession, that people will hold the leaders accountable. If people hold the leaders accountable, if people ensure that the quality of people that have gone into the MBA continues to be top-notch, then the organization and invariably the law profession will grow. But if you notice in Nigeria, the political parties have failed because the quality of people who manage political parties in Nigeria has continued to dwindle over time. Invariably, the political parties themselves have failed. So it is important that not only do we maintain standards, but that we should make as a cardinal principle the idea of setting forth at dawn, the idea of reacting before the problem comes, the idea of being the voice of the voiceless, the idea of being the defenders of our national heritage. Thank you very much.
Okay, but you will notice that most of the questions were directed towards the lawyers. And one of the ladies said, in specificity. So I will not waste your time. I will just round up by saying that, in order to attract that success that you're looking for, to stand tall, to set out at dawn, you should also remember to prepare and offer a lot of value so that you can attract that success. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I think setting forth at dawn is more of a clarion call. It requires us to be more proactive and to provide solutions, legal solutions for our clients that are client-centric. So the focus is on solving the client's problems rather than on us emphasizing the fact that, we are lawyers and we know everything. For the lady who was saying, it's not every lawyer that gets there, what do you do? I think the following cues I'll give. One, you need to work hard. Hard work, discipline, integrity, honesty, consistency, proactiveness, being present. Your branding. What is your brand? What are you known for? If you get up now and say, I need a Jankara lawyer, there are some names that readily come to mind. And the truth is that if you ask 5 lawyers, the same names may come up. That is their brand. So the question is, what is your brand? How are you driving, developing, and, quote, marketing your brand? Okay? Once you identify those things and you are consistent. Now, the thing with hard work is that it ultimately delivers. It doesn't deliver immediately. I'm told KOK plays roles where he's routinely an evil person or a native doctor. So, if those are the solutions you're looking for, I'm told they work in the short term, but not in the long term. So, but the point really is this. Hard work is off. It does take time, but you sleep well at night. Thank you very much.
At least I have a brand.
So, I must say, we are not motivational speakers who use 5,000 naira to set up a multi-million-dollar business. No. I'm sure here, amongst your call mates, you have some who've succeeded better than you or earlier than you. You have some who've not succeeded at all. And then you have some who you are maybe in the same category. The question you ask yourself, is there luck? And luck means many things for different people, right? I believe definitely there is luck, right? So you could just come out of call to bar, get recruited. Okay, let me give a very random example. Some guys that were our call mates, immediately they were called to bar. It turned out that Niger State government was paying compensation for lands where they were doing a project. The people of that community came to them because they were very young lawyers and felt that they were going to be cheap. The guys were a bit smart. They drafted a contract and said that they will get 5% of the income, of the compensation that they were paid. It turned out that the compensation that they were paid was a lot of money, and before you knew it, they have blown. That is luck. It doesn't mean that the other lawyers who were called to bar, who did not go to Niger State, are not going to succeed. It just means that you succeed at your time. I think the best person that had given the advice is Mia Essien. I assure you, even amongst here that we are sitting, when you look at your call mates, even those that they were just called recently, and you say, who is that person that is diligent? You know, by yourself. I say, who is that person that can do wuru-wuru? You know, by yourself. Thank God, we thank Kenayo for the kind of movies he does. All the people who do those money ritual, I think at the end of the day, they have issues. In all of it, they come to parties, spread money, but after a short while, they are nowhere. But the guy who is consistent, and if you read the book, Atomic Habit, right? You will see that what they say is that the power of Atomic Habit, he says, you just have to be consistent in the things that you do. There is a video that is on social media where two persons were mining for gold. So one person was mining on this hole. As he was mining on this hole, he found gold. The other person was also mining, but saw that that person has found gold, left what he was mining, and turned to the other side. From the video, it was shown that he was almost to a bigger gold, but he felt that, that place was a better one. That's what is consistency. Note, that is what is consistency. Oh yes, that is his part. He has found his own. Let me continue in the one I'm doing. I will also find my own. And I think we need to get it. Please, getting extremely rich is not the same thing as being successful.
You can say that again.
You cannot and should not measure your success with money, because I understand that those who do that are the poorest of persons. You could have money, but the money will come with problems. And isn't it better for you to have less money and sleep at home than to have plenty money and today EFCC, tomorrow ICPC, next tomorrow DSS, at the end of the day jail? So I think we should understand what success is here and then try to do it. Success in the legal profession requires luck, but it also requires consistency and hard work. You must have all of that. And behind it all, that luck for me is God. For you, it can be anything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Round of applause. Round of applause. Well deserving. This is, as we mark the close of this session, I'm going to make a closing statement for just 1 minute. And the panelists will come for a group photograph and receive the plaques. I want to thank distinguished colleagues who have turned up for this breakfast without a breakfast. We thank you for lending us your ears, and to our panelists for the wisdom you have shared. What we must and what we have heard is clear. Success, whether in the courtroom, in leadership, or in nation building, does not wait for the afternoon. It is born in the quiet discipline of the morning when others are still asleep. To set forth at dawn is to rise before excuses, to prepare before opportunity knocks, and to act before conditions appear perfect. If our profession must stand tall and stand out, then we must also learn to rise early in thought and in practice, in service to society. Dawn will not only wait for us, it calls us to move now. So as we leave this hall and continue with the conference, may we carry with us this charge. Let us be lawyers who prepare early, lead early, and build early, so that we may truly stand tall and stand out and light the way for others. Thank you, everyone. My name is Kanayo O. Kanayo. I'm your colleague, and I hold the national honors of Member of the Order of the Federal Republic, MFR. Thank you very much. Group photograph, and then receiving the plaque.
So thank you so much, KOK, as you're popularly called, and thank you, a wonderful panelist. This session is about coming to an end now, and would respectfully ask the panelists to go down so that they can take the group photograph, and then we'll call on one of our own, Chief Harriet Balogun, Life Ventures, COON, first female Attorney General of Lagos State, who will present them with plaque. I believe you all like that. Would you like to clap for that? She's here with us. Our mama is here. So please, you will go down this way. It's easier this way than to go down this other way. Please.